Mitsubishi Outlander 2012 to 2018. Hello everyone! Like most Japanese cars, the Outlander's paintwork is not durable. Chips and scratches on the body appear after 2 to 3 years of operation. In places of chips and other damage to the case, rust can appear and quite quickly. Therefore, with the restoration of the paintwork, it is better not to delay. From de-icing reagents, chrome-plated body parts also get. The coating of external decor elements welds and flies around already in the second year of life. The windshield cannot boast of durability either. It is quickly rubbed with brushes and the chips that appear on it quickly turn into cracks. Instead of a regular part, we recommend a non-original one. Such a front end is much cheaper and lasts much longer. Not only the body suffers from corrosion, but also the engines, of which there are 3 on the Outlander and all of them are castling. On this power unit, the radiator leaks over time. Dealer cars are protected by a special coating that prevents the penetration of corrosion. In our conditions, radiators rarely last more than 4 to 5 years. In addition, they are quite simple in design and practically devoid of congenital source. For example, 2.0 and 2.4-liter flows similar in design come to repayment mainly due to the natural wear of the cylinder piston group. Although it should be noted that the ring of the motors are thin, but fortunately they are not subject to occurrence. In the drive of the gas distribution mechanism of both force chain is used, the service life of which is equipped to the engine resource. The part really takes care of an average of 250,000 kilometers. But more to be spent on motors, most likely it is not necessary. No less reliable is 3-liter 230 horsepower V6. True, given its more complex design, the 6 is noticeably more expensive to maintain compared to the 4th. In addition, this engine is equipped with a time and belt drive, the replacement of which, according to the regulation, is 90,000 kilometers. Usually the belt within this period, although there have been causes of teeth cutting or breakage before this period. Therefore, in advance somewhere after 75,000 kilometers of run, it is necessary to check its technical condition. Even more attention to itself will require a variator, which is combined exclusively with 4-cylinder engines. It is believed that this unit takes care of about 100,000 kilometers without breakdowns, and then the torment begins. If you feel that acceleration is accompanied by extraneous metallic knocks and the cut which when picking up speed, urgently go to the service to replace the pushing belt. The variator doesn't favor off-road and sleeping. In addition, in traffic jams it overheats. The Japanese took this fact into account and began to install an additional cooling radiator on restored cars. However, in general, this did not solve the problem. The unit is still considered capricious and rarely takes care of more than 200,000 kilometers. But the 5-speed mechanics and 6-band automatic are considered unconditionally reliable. Approximately the same requirements as in the case of the variator are put forward by all-wheel drive transmission. The center clutch does not like to drive with slippage, and on the road it quickly overheats. Therefore, when you buy a used Mitsubishi Outlander, be sure to check the condition of the 4x4 transmission. Otherwise, the burden of the cost for replacing for the clutch cut-in shaft with an outboard bearing of repairing gearbox will fall entirely on the shoulders of the second owner. But the newly mounted owners of the Outlanders will sooner or later have to deal with suspension problems. They are not so global, but still. The fact is that the rubber components of the suspension parts quickly lose their properties from exposure to chemical reagents. Therefore, ahead of time by 40,000 kilometers, the struts and the bushing of the stabilizers, levers as well as their bell bearings and silent blocks wear out. The front shock absorbers usually last 80,000 kilometers or more, and the rear arms usually change a little earlier. The remaining elements of the charge can easily use up to hundreds of thousands of kilometers. In order to extend the life of the suspension, some dealers try to protect its element with a special lubricant. However, the effect of this frankly is not very long. I must say that short hemisphere also negatively affects the health of the Outlander's electrical equipment, which already does not shine with reliability. During the production of the third generation of the crossover from 2012 to the present, the Japanese have carried out a dozen recall campaigns related only to electrics. Most of all, there were complaints about the ETACS unit's failures, of which led to inadequate operation of the cooling fans and low-beam headlights. Quite often, the engine control module was buggy due to a poor quality relay regulator. But when the so-called comfort block failed, the electric window was spontaneously opened and closed, the central lock turned on and off by itself, and the side mirrors folded. The most interesting thing is that all the malfunctions were of floating nature. The performances of chaotic action ended as a rule as unexpectedly as they began. And further, If suddenly your Outlander enters emergency mode, the automatic transmission selector doesn't allow you to shift gears, and a 4WD transmission malfunction lights up on the screen, do not rush to panic. Most likely the reversing light fuse has blown. Without it, the crossover simply will not go. Though the third alternative is generally reliable, if you do not take into account the capricious electrical equipment. When choosing a used crossover, avoid modification with a CVT or carefully check to the unit for performance. Unfortunately, diesel versions were not officially sold with us, but the diesel is reputed to be absolutely reliable and indestructible. However, it is combined only with a manual gearbox. If you have had such a module, share information about what and how it breaks in the comments.